record or the record button, or an isolated movie where a lot happened and oh my god, was it absolutely 100% freaky. Okay, now, um, I don't typically watch a whole lot of foreign movies, because like anime is not just my thing. I know, blasphemy, but it's just I tried getting into it. It's just like a whole bunch of like weird stuff, and it's like honestly like it's what the comedian Sebastian Maniscalco said: when you're looking at Google, you only stay on page one because once you get past that, it just gets weird. Like a horse gets involved, so it's odd. I never know what I'm gonna get into when I'm watching anime. Now, that does not mean I don't watch anime. Period, because there are quite a bit of stuff in anime that I actually do like the Cyberpunk Edgerunner series. Thought was quite inventive and really cool. Ghost in the Shell, I think, was pretty cool. So, so yeah, but overall, I don't really watch a whole lot of foreign stuff, and this is a Spanish film, and the, I I saw this. I knew of its existence, but I just never fully sat down and watch it. Um, I knew what it was, but I just never just sat down and just watched it. Because yeah, what what typically happens when I watch foreign movies is I'll have subtitles on the screen, and sometimes I have to look at the subtitles, read it real quick, and then look up like pretty much like real quickly just to see if something is going to happen or something happens or anything like that. So it just becomes like this eye eye tracking game where it's like, can I keep my eyes like on the going up and down constantly? But this movie came out during the uh, re resurge of found footage. Like this was after Blair Witch Project, and I think when this movie came out, they were actually filming Cloverfield, I believe. And yeah, it was kind of like this and Cloverfield were like this two hit punch where they went like, oh, we can found footage is back. We can either use it cleverly, like this movie, or Cloverfield use it. I won't say too much about Blair Witch because I got lots of thoughts on those, but or we could just use it as a cheap tool and get extra money with people who are just going to go see this. But I went into this not really knowing anything. I knew it was um, the story is a news reporter and her cameraman go to this local fire station to do like what's the night at a fire station, like what do they do, they like sleep, they cook their own meals, and all that stuff. What's the life of a firefighter when they get a um, call to go check out a woman in an apartment complex? They get there, and then the woman attacks um, some of them, and the news reporter, the firefighters, and the residents that live there are basically quarantined into that section, and it becomes this mystery of what is going on. Why are they quarantining the entire building, and can we survive this? And I knew that it was about news reporter going to the apartment complex. I knew that, but I didn't know about anything else really. And so I went in completely blind. And as I was watching it, there were so many parts where I jumped, like especially like one part where they're just down in the lobby and they're just talking, and you're kind of on edge because you're like the whole situation is just crazy. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, something happens, and it's like, whoa, and it made me jump. And another thing about the movie is that the level of gore is spot on. Like, wow, was it crazy? And yeah, I love like these little moments where you think it's going one way, just because like this little thing is introduced, but then it could be resolved like, oh no, this is because of this, and then you're still kind of in the back of your mind going like, but I'm thinking about that, and then when eventually it's all laid on the line, you're just like, yep, that's crazy, that's crazy, and then especially when you get to the third act where they just go no holds barred, it's like, whoa, like this is just nuts, this is crazy, and yeah, like I said, like especially the last like 15-20 minutes, it's like, oh my god, that's just so smart, it's just so clever. um so I really like this movie. um and it feels, I think, what a found footage movie should be is try to be believable, and this movie I think has got it down, because there's parts in it where all this crazy stuff just happened, and then when they're like trying to resolve it, they use that time sparingly and to introduce like more aspects of all the characters, so nobody feels left out. So which I really liked. Whereas I the whole time there was not one moment where I went like, who's this character, or what does this character bring to this, or like why are they in this situation? Not once, and I really liked that. So you know that the writing is what sold me, and the believability, and sometimes the scares, because sometimes things will be just thrown out of nowhere, and you're just like, whoa, this just got crazy. And then there's some parts, like especially involving a dark attic, and if you see the movie you probably know what I'm talking about, where it's all silent and all silent, all silent, and then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, something just kind of pops out of the screen, and you're just like, "Whoa!" So you're taken aback, and yeah, this movie just does it extremely well, and the way that it's written is extremely well. The characters are written so good; it's very believable, and the whole time you're kind of with characters. You're just like, you're not given too much information about what's going on, because outside, they know a lot more, and they keep saying like, "Oh, we're here to help you or save you," but it's one of those things where you think about that and you go, "But are they really? Are they really here to save us, or are they just gonna kill us?" So that there's that level added on top of it, out of all the levels this movie has, and this is just a well done movie, and I was very surprised on on how good it was, and it just I was so surprised on how good this was, and it makes me want to watch the other three movies. There's four in total, because I know two takes place like immediately after this one, but at the same time, the way that this kind of wraps up is like a, yeah, that well, that sucks, but it's like a, I don't necessarily need to keep watching more of these. But I've heard from people saying that it's actually a nicely done series, where they like, um yeah, they may like veer off into something else, but they'll eventually come back. So yeah, it's kind of like, okay, maybe I'll check out the rest of them. But this one just particular was very clever, very unique, and was back when, like I said, when found footage were having like getting their foot back in the door. And yeah, it's a very nice and solid found footage film, and I give it a great. Um, it was very nicely done, and I'm a guy that doesn't really get freaked out by a whole lot of movies. There were times this movie like legitimately made me jump. Now I look back at it, I'm just like, I know exactly what's gonna happen. But, first time watching it, I jumped more than once. Probably twice or three times, or I lost count.